I came into my business and decided if it don't make six figures the first year, it ain't worth doing. Then I know that is so ridiculous in hindsight, but that was my mindset. So when it made six figures the first year, I decided it was worth keeping. If it had not made it, I would have gotten rid of it. I would have closed the legal entity and been done with it, because the work it takes, if I can't pay myself at least 40 or 50,000, what are we doing?
Yeah. Peace, everyone. Welcome to the Speaking for Profit podcast. Today's interview is all about building your wealth consciousness, how to really become a sales agent in your life, and how to bring money into your business as an entrepreneur. Had a great time sitting down with Natalie Bullen, who is an entrepreneur, the founder of Unapologetic Wealth, and doing some amazing work with Black people around the country around making sure that they're not only making money in their business, but investing money in their business and in their family's future. So if you've been looking for someone who doesn't just talk about financial spreadsheets and how to put money in the stock market, but really around the wealth consciousness that you need to be successful, you want to make sure that you watch this interview. The other thing that Natalie has been amazing at has been my personal business coach and has supported me this year in making $40,000 within my consulting business and really supporting me with my messaging. One of the things that I learned from Natalie that has been extremely powerful in this last year is the power of creating content that not only brings in amazing clients, but that repels people that you're not meant to work with. So check out this interview, and I hope you like it, and make sure that you like and subscribe. All right, Natalie, welcome to the Speaking for Profit podcast. I should call you coach because you have helped me. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Natalie, and I'm going to drop this bomb at the beginning of this episode. You make about $40,000 this year. So I got to call you one of my top coaches at this point, because there's a lot of coaches I don't work for. They ain't putting money in my pocket. They done put stress in my pocket, but they ain't putting no money in my pocket. So I thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing. I have so much gratitude for the way you show up in the world, the way you show up for particularly Black folks in sales and in community. And I'm so thankful that you're here. Thank you for coming.
That's so powerful. I really appreciate that. On a day where I am constantly arguing on the internet with people about how folks need to honor their commitments, I'm like, no, the coaches need to give an ROI. This isn't a one-way street. We just can't put all the onus off on the client. So A, I'm glad I was able to put some money in your pocket. And B, that happened because you actually showed up and did the work, which is the other half of the equation that's missing a lot of times when people hire a coach.
Yeah, I totally agree with that resume. I know, I did a post on Facebook and I was telling people that they scam themselves, right? When they
I saw that
coaching and then they don't do nothing with it. It's
nothing.
Self scam. It's your self scam, and
that's a good point.
You can't.
And people will do it. I used to work at the bank, and there were people who will open savings accounts, fund it with the obligatory $25, and then just transfer that money back and forth every month. So every month the automatic transfer hit, and they move the money right back, because in their mind, just having a savings account was a flex. Didn't matter if it never got funded. And there are people like that with coaching. I've had people pay me and never show up to one call, believe it or not. 5 figures.
I have as well. And I'm
like,
thanks for the donation.
Are you alive? Well, me, I'm all concerned. I'm like, are you alive? Are you okay? I'm checking in Slack. I got Terica sending them emails. What's going on? Oh, I'm super busy, but thank you for checking in. You paid me $10,000 for what you're talking about. You don't want to chat a little bit. You don't want to hit me up in Voxer, ghost. But then you'll see that same person 6 months later going, I worked with.
Yeah.
And your name is on the list. And it's like, so is this really just for clout? But it's crazy that we live in an era where spending a lot of money on coaching becomes an accolade.
Right.
Worth bragging about on the internet. And nobody questions what kind of results did you get. It was just, oh, you must be legit if you had the money to hire Nat Bullen. It's like, no, that don't make you legit. That make you a person with a credit limit.
We need to, you know what, every time I'm with you, Natalie, I always think we need to put this on a t-shirt. So I can't wait for the t-shirt line to drop, because that one needs to.
Oh my God, me and Terica are the worst with just the timeline for it. We be thinking about it, we talk about it, and then Natalie gets big grand plan number 12, and we all go marching towards that. We have this new programs coming out. We have 2 new programs coming out. And so, but yeah, it needs to happen. We definitely need wealth is my birthright on a shirt. We definitely need e-sales for breakfast on a mug. Like we definitely need some little tote bags with little flying money signs or something. You know what I'm saying? I want stickers because I'm a sticker person, like old Journey stickers. I want to put stickers all over my laptop. So we're going to get that together.
Definitely. So tell me, because I don't know this about you, how did you become an entrepreneur? Like, were there people in your family that were entrepreneurs? Like, what's the journey that got you to here?
I'm a super accidental entrepreneur, man. Like, never should have happened. I had no skill for it. God was just like, you gonna do it anyway. You know, like I had small stuff. Like I had my first business when I was 7 or 8 years old. I was making like these kind of string bracelets. You remember that plastic string you could weave together? I was actually selling those at a uniform store. So I'm from Mobile. And in Mobile, Alabama, all public school children wear uniforms. And the uniforms are different color based on the school. That way the truancy officers know, looking at you, what school you go to and what grade you in. It also keeps down bullying. That way, you know, poorer parents don't have to compete, trying to put their kids in J's and all that stuff, right? Anyway, I went to the uniform store owner and was like, hey, will you let me sell my bracelets and keychains in your store? There's this really nice black guy named Mr. Campbell. And he said, yeah. So I made them, dropped them off, sold them for $1 a piece, collected my money once a week. It was legit. And my mom was just like, if she going for it, I'm going to go for it, you know. But my only exposure to business as a child was MLM for the most part. I knew a lot of people selling Avon and Tupperware and Amway and Primerica life insurance, which I have sold before. For y'all life insurance people, come down. I don't sell it no more, but I'm a fan of buy term, invest the difference. Anyway, but you know, I've always wanted to do something else. So even when I worked a job, I was doing free financial literacy in churches and in schools. I've actually done over 100 free financial literacy classes. And then COVID hit. Yeah, I was repping hard. I wouldn't take no money, but I wanted to show up because when you grow up without something, you think that when you get it, it will fix your problem. So if you grow up with a lack of food, you think if my refrigerator was full, my life would be different, right? If you grow up without your parents' love, you think if someone would just love me, it'll make my life better, right? You always gravitate towards that lack. And so without financial literacy, more money doesn't actually help people. As a matter of fact, more money typically harms people who don't have financial literacy because they will spend it in ways that are self-destructive or that harm their family and communities, or they'll live beyond their means and it all comes crashing down later. So I felt like it needed to happen. Anyway, COVID happened and the whole world shut down and ain't nobody want me to come and do free financial literacy. And I was like, damn, I'm bored. I guess I got to move it online. So I started doing a whole bunch of free Facebook Lives and a whole bunch of posts. Then Clubhouse hit. And I was like, this is great. This app never closes. I can run my mouth for 24 hours. We had rooms just go 8-9 hours. Wow. Shout out Chanel Evans. Shout out Sandra Mackey. We was in them rooms a whole shift. We would go cook dinner and come back and folks still be talking. And eventually folks were just like, you should do this for a living. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You should do this for a living. Yeah, whatever. I'll pay you to do this. I'm like, hold on, let me set up an LLC. So that's how the whole thing happened. And I started off as a money coach. Ironic that I'm coming full circle, but I couldn't get people to come to my masterclasses. And when I asked them, because you know I'm pushy, I slide your DMs and be like, hey, you mentioned that you were interested. I see you didn't follow through. Why? And they were like, girl, we ain't got no money. I don't have no money to invest in my retirement. I don't have no money to file taxes. I don't have no money, this and that. And I'm like, I'm green. I'm naive. Why you don't have no money if you run a business? Right? Like, I wasn't trying to be mean. I'm like, this is a legit question. They're like, girl, sales, this and that. And I was like, I have a sales background. I worked at Verizon. I worked at DirecTV. I've been a telemarketer. I can teach you how to sell if you just need to learn that. And there was. All of a sudden, the floodgates open because I'm learning very few Black women are championing sales. Funnels, ads, sure. Finances, absolutely. Sales, not so much. And you can learn sales from a white man, but you cannot replicate the reaction that he gets out in the world as a white man. You get what I'm saying? Like, you could say exactly what he said. It ain't gonna land. You could sell to them same people. Are they gonna receive you the same way? And I like to champion for my clients who are Black and brown, breadwinners, queer, non-binary. We don't have the same kind of lived experience as cis white men do when they go out and try to do something. We don't have the cash reserves. We don't have the support system. So I feel good that I had a big chapter of my life helping people make more money.
Yeah. Thank you so much for, listening to your audience, because that's what I'm hearing from this, right? A lot of folks will have offers that they want to do and they keep throwing it out and the audience keeps saying, heck no, I don't like that. I don't want that. And then they just keep doing it. And then they wonder why they're in the cycle. So I appreciate that. And you're right. There is a huge gap. And I think that that's what attracted me to your work in particular, because you were talking about sales, but you were speaking my language. And then when it came to my team, right, my team is primarily women or non-binary folks. So when I brought my team member in to learn from you, I just seen Michaela just like take off. And I was like, it's because we had you in these trainings. And you couldn't really understand. Not even that you couldn't understand.
You have a great social seller.
Oh, thank you.
I would steal your social seller if I didn't like you so much. You have a great. Like, wait,
goodness. This conversation shifted really quickly.
I was like, I like this one. Well, but she ain't afraid to make the ask. And a lot of people are literally, when it comes down to, they're just afraid to ask for the money. Yeah. It's not the program that scares them. It is the possibility of rejection. I have just reframed rejection in a different way for most people. I think a lot of folks think if I make an offer and no one buys it, or if I make an offer and you don't buy it, then I have been rejected. But I feel like I'm rejecting myself by not making an ask, right? Mm-hmm. I want to have a live event in Atlanta next year. I need to get some people to buy tickets this year, or we ain't having it next year. You understand me? So if I don't ask anybody to buy the ticket and the event doesn't happen, who got played? I played myself. It ain't nobody's fault that it didn't get purchased if I didn't ask. So I'm going to ask everybody in Atlanta. I'm going to ask everybody in my program. I'm going to send emails. I'm going to make it urgent. Hey, if y'all really want Unapologetic Wealth Live to happen, this is what you got to do this year. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But at least I'll know this wasn't what my audience wanted. I'm okay with that outcome. I'm not okay with the outcome of I'll never know what my folks wanted because I was too afraid to ask them. That's weird.
Right. Because you didn't really take the initiative. So one of the things that you're really good at is posting on Facebook. Like, I mean, I think if we had an Olympic medal for it, you would win the gold medal. I don't know. Maybe you.
I would because I do it myself. There's people posting way more than me, but they've got AI teams. Bots. They're repurposing. They got bots. They're doing those crazy
but you
Instagram.
Post how many times a day? How many times you post a day? You think?
Like 7 to 10. Yeah, that's a regular day.
Yeah, definitely. So what?
It's not as many as people think, though. It's not as hard as people think.
It doesn't feel difficult. I'm just wondering, is it a reason behind that method that you want to share with the audience? Like, is there a reason that you're doing the 7 to 10?
So let me back up a step. If you are listening to this and you have a marketing strategy, you are 20,000 miles ahead of where Nat Bullen started. Okay. When I started my business, I didn't know anybody. I had no referrals. I had no word of mouth. I live in Alabama, the second poorest state in the country, in one of the most racist areas of the state. So I have no local ability. The folks who live here don't even invite me to their events. I mean, I am nobody in the city of Huntsville. I have no referrals, no leads. I didn't know nobody. I had no ad budget. I had no marketing budget. It was just me. So I planted my flag on Facebook because it was free, it was easy, and I already had followers there. People already knew me from the bank. They already knew me for my financial literacy. So I didn't have to spend money. All I had to do was invest my time. And when you broke, you got a lot of time. So that is how I started on Facebook. Now, have I diversified somewhat? Sure. But ain't nothing put money in my pocket like Clubhouse and Facebook. And Clubhouse is basically defunct now. It still exists. It's an app in the App Store, but it's not what it was for you to be able to get business there. In terms of why I post so much, there's two types of content. And my marketing consultant, Sarah Moon, taught me this. There's content that grows and there's content that decays. Social media is decaying content, meaning it's like a banana. You set a banana on your counter. How long is that banana good for? A day? 2 days? 3 days? Maybe. After that, you need to put it in the freezer and make some banana bread with it because it's going to ripen. That's how social media is. So if all you buy is bananas, you're going to be buying bananas every 3 days. It's the nature of a banana. So if you on social media, you need to understand that you are in the banana business. Now, I happen to like bananas. I don't mind running to the store every 3 days to buy more of them. If that's going to drive you crazy, then you're going to have to pick another produce. Maybe you need to grow artichoke, corn, potatoes, something that can sit out for 3 to 6 months, right? Maybe you need to pay for SEO or blogs or ads, but I have zero online marketing experience. All of that stuff is hard for me. It's been hard for me to outsource it effectively. I can write 10 posts in 30 minutes for free. Until some top that, I just don't see it. Now, for why so many, I found that that's the sweet spot to show up in everybody's feed every day. It ain't a day to go by that you don't see at least one of my posts. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like. It also gives me space to build relationship because I like to have at least one post that I share from someone else. Now, how do you feel when somebody shares one of your posts?
It excites me. I'm like, oh, they like me.
It's a good feeling, right? So if 365 days of the year I share somebody's post, that's 365 people who are immediately like, I like her. I have an affinity. I'm going to start following her, right? That could be 365 connections, leads, people at my event, people in my masterclasses. I found so many people online. Most of us aren't social on social media. We show up, we sell, and we leave. And that's why posts don't make any money. I respond to every comment on my page. I answer my DMs personally. I understand it's not scalable, but if you're not doing $200-300K a month, you ain't scaling anything anyway. If you're making $10,000 a month, there is nothing to scale. So you might as well be involved until you get to that next level. By the time I have a scalable business, I'll have so much goodwill. I think also in the back of my mind, I appreciate the posts because they help people who cannot afford my coaching. And there will always be people who, despite whatever I put on the internet, ain't ever going to be able to pony up $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to work with me. But so many people help me on my way up. I love to be able to help folks. And there are people who have made $50K on the free content that I post on the internet if they apply it. And you know what people who get results with my free stuff do? Pay me. Because they're like, if the free stuff was this good, the paid stuff is going to be even better. It just creates such a pipeline of trust. It also gives you a backlog of content. If I was in a coma tomorrow, I could have somebody comb my page and they could come up with years of content off of what I've already posted. So I think it's smart to work hard while you're in that energetic state. I don't know that I'll be able to do it forever, but for the period of time that I've done it, I've gotten great results with it. I make more on social media organically than a lot of people make with ads.
That is the truth, because people will be running these ads and they don't tell you how much they spent. Like they just share the revenue, but they never share. But
they're spending a lot, or they use jargon, they ROAS, this on return, or this and this and this. I can make anything sound positive statistically. I can hide all kinds of untruths in a statistical document. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to be deceitful even when you are telling the truth. So I'm always curious. And the thing about ads only amplify what works. If your organic strategy isn't working, running ads is horrible because now you're spending money to replicate and amplify and make if your post can't convert one person, it ain't gonna convert 1,000 people. So more eyeballs is not going to, I love getting more eyeballs on my content because my content is great. But a lot of people's message is muddy. Like they know what they stand for in the back of their mind, but they're afraid to put that out there. They don't want to just tell the truth, right? I stand for communities of color having money, particularly Black women being really rich from entrepreneurship. I want you to have a high earning business, and I want that high earning business to make you personally wealthy. That's what I want. That's what I stand for. That's what all of my messaging funnels back down to. Most folks have no viewpoint. They don't actually have an opinion that they're willing to put out publicly because they're afraid of backlash. So they water it down and go, oh, we're for all people, gender, we don't care, all colors, all genders, service-based, product-based, we can help everybody. And when you read a message like that, you can't get attached to it. You got to be polarized. Someone has to be excluded. And that's very difficult for Black people because we have been the ones excluded for so long. We carry that ancestral trauma with us. And that's what makes it hard for us to niche and hard for us to get our message refined because we are so fearful of inadvertently harming people by excluding them the way that we were excluded. But you have to remember, just because they're not for you doesn't mean they're not for anybody. I would rather exclude bad fit clients so they can find the right coach for them. I'm actually not the right coach for most people, and that's okay. When you step outside of your own ego and admit that you can't help everybody, your business will skyrocket.
I love that because one of the things I learned from you was about repel content.
Mm-hmm. It's my favorite.
I love it. I'm like, let me throw something out there that I don't like.
Content, your trash talking content makes me so happy. But guess what? You probably get very few people who absolutely do not want to make money being a speaker.
Exactly. Yep.
You probably get very few of those people now because they're like, oh yeah, I know that evolved person. Yeah, she's stuck up. She think if you ain't making no money with your business, then you're...
Exactly.
She thinks what the IRS thinks. The IRS thinks that too. I don't see nobody going online going, the IRS told me I wasn't really a business because I didn't make money for 3 years. Shocker. Right. You know what I'm saying? And we need to stop as people accepting a bare minimum. And that's with everything. That's with relationships. That's with jobs. That's with our health. We accept a bare minimum. We'll be 37 with hypertension and gallstones and migraines in a business that only pay us $30,000 a year with a man that don't come home at night and be online talking about I'm living my best life. Sis, you're in hell.
Right.
Sis, you are in hell. Okay.
Knowledge, real.
You are in hell. That's it. So I'm like, I just can't. I'm telling you, I'm spoiled. My mother poured into me. Still pours into me. My father pours into me. My brother dotes on me like I'm the best thing that ever happened. Okay, my grandparents doted on me. I'm used to consistent positive energy. I don't really deal well with negativity, and I don't take constructive criticism from people who ain't constructive shit. Mm-hmm. So if things are going to be hard, if it's going to be a nightmare, miss me with that. Miss me with that. I'm spoiled. I like when life is easy and good and fruitful. And if it's not, I will make rash, radical decisions to get better. It's always surprising to me how many people just kind of wallow in a bad business. I mean, I've had people slide in my DMs and tell me they made $1 million in 2020, 2021, and now they can't pay their mortgage.
Yeah, definitely.
What happened to all the money?
It goes back to the money management, right? Which is what you talk about. And what I think is it's thriver's guilt, right? I have this conversation with clients all the time. They start making more money and then they give so much away to family, to friends. They don't really have a strategy on how to save and invest. So it doesn't really matter how much they made, right? But one of the questions I get all the time, Natalie, is about pricing. And that's the question I wanted to ask you because I feel like your pricing model is so fruitful, but also supports so many different people, right? Like you have the Birthright podcast that someone can kind of get and tap in. And, I always say you can get that for the price of some Jordans, right? Like if you're out here buying J's, you can definitely go.
Yeah, you can buy this. Right. That's something that's going to help you for a whole year, not just look good for one homecoming game.
Exactly.
Because the problem with a sneakerhead, they don't want to be seen in them shoes again. Everybody already seen them in the shoes. That's why Natalie will never be a sneakerhead. I mean, opposed from the fact that my favorite color is pink and I wear clothes with little bows around the neck. That's probably a real.
You can get some sneakers that match with that. I got you.
I could, but they ain't gonna be J's most likely because I'm not standing in no line. I'm not filing for no lottery. I was like, Michael Jordan is the smartest man ever. He's the smartest man that ever existed. He got y'all waiting in line for shoes. I was like, bro, I gotta get stopped.
Gamified it too. I mean, now they're
I know I mean it when I said that the man is a genius. I'm like, Okay, people like, I don't know if he the best player. He damn sure the best business owner. He the best business owner out the NBA. Y'all can argue about the skills if you want to. I think pricing is personal. And I think you have to really tie into your mission and ask yourself, what is your objective? I started high ticket and worked my way down. One, because I ain't have a lot of team. And two, I ain't have a lot of time. I did not want 20, 30, 40, 50 clients. I did not want to have to run ads. And I don't even understand lead magnets. Again, Natalie started business green. So I was like, what is a skill I already possess that someone would pay thousands of dollars for? I started there. And then I said, now that we have a profit base, I can move down and say, how can we take the critical parts of the transformation and make them lower ticket? So at first I had private coaching. At the time, it might have been like $2,000 a month. Well, I had a lot of people who were like, I want to work with you, Nat, but $12,000 is way out of my price range. So after I got success for, I don't know, maybe 30 people in my private coaching program, I said, we should run a group program that's indefinite. So I had Sales Siren Academy. It was like $6K for the whole year, which is what, a quarter of the price? Yeah. So yeah, $12K for the year $6K for the year instead of $24K for private coaching. Mm-hmm. Then I said, you know what? Does it really take a year to get some of the basic, like the messaging part down? It'll take a year to get your messaging together. We can do this in 4 weeks. We can do this in 6 weeks. That allowed me to have the mini mind that was like $1,500 that people could say, you know what? Even if it's a sacrifice, it's a quick sacrifice. It's a one-time sacrifice. I got some access to that. I can hammer this down. And if it worked, you could go out with that new message and make money. Almost everybody in the mini mind reported to me that they made all their money back. Then I said, you know what? We should have a money-making challenge. We should gamify making money. Had the Ascension Challenge for $500. I showed up every day for 30 days, gave people a prompt to go out and make money. They took the action. They reported in the group. We had winners at the end. That's it. I'm not a big fan of low to high because I feel like you run out of money before you scale it. So I'm team find your biggest, brightest gift and your most well-situated client, and then work yourself down to be able to serve more people as your capacity grows and as your demand grows. Because when I first started, I didn't have a demand to fill a group program. I didn't have enough people who were interested at one time. Every group program I would have had would have flopped. Not to mention, I had no methodology to inform the group coaching program. So I like that I started one-on-one and that I started high ticket because that gave me an opportunity to really dig deep with people, to get down in the trenches, to see exactly what their problems were, and then to replicate that on a larger scale.
Yeah, definitely. Attention public speakers, coaches, and consultants. Ever dreamt of booking 5-figure speaking and consulting contracts? In just 5 days, I'm teaching my tried and tested system to elevate your speaking and consulting business. Forget the cold emails, bypass the salesy pitches. This challenge is about building genuine high-value connections. And here's a promise I have for you. With a commitment of just 1 to 2 hours a day for 5 days, you're going to witness transformative results. On day 1, you'll learn how to craft a business strategy without cold emails or paying to speak. Day 2 is all about you redefining your profile to attract decision makers ready to invest in your expertise. By day 3, you'll have your very own 5-figure sales system to turn contacts into clients. By day 4, we will have you automating your funnel with proven templates and scripts. And day 5, I'm going to teach you how to master the art of discovery calls with a step-by-step checklist and exclusive 5-figure sales secrets. Whether you're just stepping onto the speaking scene or you're a seasoned pro, this challenge is tailor-made for you. I'm going to teach you the exact strategies that have helped me help my clients make over $2 million in the last 2 years. The journey to a thriving 5-figure speaking and consulting business begins with this challenge. So are you ready to redefine your limits, accelerate your growth, and bask in the limelight of your success? I want you to join the 5 days to 5-figure speaking challenge now. Let's rewrite your success story together. Simply head over to speakingforprofit.com. You're going to click that button that says 5 days to 5-figure speaking gigs so you can get started with the challenge. Can't wait to see you there. All right, Now back to the show. I love the pattern of starting with high ticket. That's how I started my business as well. And I was scared. I mean, I was like, these people don't really pay me money, but they did. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. They got the money.
Maybe because I was still working a job. I don't know. I came into my business and decided if it don't make 6 figures the first year, it ain't worth doing. Then I know that is so ridiculous in hindsight, but that was my mindset. So when it made 6 figures the first year, I decided it was worth keeping. If it had not made it, I would have gotten rid of it. I would have closed the legal entity and been done with it, because the work it takes, if I can't pay myself at least 40 or 50,000, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And if it ain't making 100, how could it pay me 50? That was my mindset, was like, if this business can't pay me, and a lot of us, like you talked about that money mindset piece, we're so busy trying to help other people. We want to help clients and help our parents and stuff. What about you? Y'all fly everywhere. Tell me why y'all ain't never listened to the safety demonstration. Every single one of them flight attendants tell you to put the mask on yourself in case of emergency first. But that's not what people go out and do. They worry about what can people afford? What will people think about me? What are people going to think about me if I lose my house? What are people going to think about me if my mom is at the food pantry? Like, y'all worry about the wrong thing. I'm only worried about what Sally Mae think about me. Loan care for my mortgage think about me. Citibank, I care about what they think about me. Cadence Bank. If you ain't one of them institutions, I'm sorry. I don't have a bandwidth, because I know my life is called for more. And I think if you're listening to this, you probably know it too, right? There's something big God has put on your life. Most people aren't going to understand that. I know I'm going to die a billionaire. Now, I fully understand the statistics on billionaires. I know how that sounds to people. But instead of spending my time arguing with folks and trying to convince them, I just do what I know I need to do. I pull money out of my business every month and invest in the stock market. Quietly, I am amassing quite the fortune. And one day, I'm just going to be on the forum and listen. I'm like, damn. She said she was going to do it. Most of us spend all of our time trying to argue with other people and pull them over to our side. I don't deal with detractors. If you've ever worked a customer service job where they had net promoter score, you know what I'm talking about. I don't deal with detractors. If you're not a promoter of my service, of my business, you are invisible. I can't slow down trying to get someone to understand where I'm coming from. Baby, maybe it's just not meant for them to understand. But for everybody telling me the price is too high, there's another person willing to pay it. There are people right now who have my name on a savings account. They're waiting to the day for me to have something for them to buy. Mm-hmm. So why would I let a detractor who ain't ever going to pay anybody, who don't even believe in coaching, tell me that my coaching is too expensive, when we all know somebody that's to pay $100K for energetics coaching with folks who shall remain nameless, who ain't got a lick of ROI.
Right.
They can't get repeat business because they drain their client. I don't want you to leave me broke. That is my worst case scenario. You give me all your money, now you broke. Because you're broke and mad, right? I'm over here oblivious, and I can never get your business again. By giving people an ROI, you got an ROI from working with me. Guess what that makes you want to do? Work with me again. Yep. People don't understand. You really cut yourself off at the knees when you under-deliver to your clients. The best sales mechanism you have is a retention mechanism. How can you keep people in your services? That's why I'm launching Birthright is getting a coaching program.
Yeah.
So that's the big confetti drop.
And you're calling yourself a wealth catalyst right now. You know what is that language? Tell me, what is a wealth catalyst?
It just woke up in my spirit, man. It just here's what I feel. I feel like when I come into people's lives, their capacity to care about and attract money grows. People are never the same after they have I am the catalyst, the spark that makes people go, she's right. I am going to learn how to invest. She's right. I am finally going to raise my prices. She's right. I am spending money on crap. I need to get serious about building personal wealth. That is not how we are raised. Most people you meet have no interest in actively building personal wealth. Now, I'm not saying they want to be broke, but that ain't what they wake up in the morning. They don't go, you know what? Let me tend to my wealth garden today. That's not it. We do think about making more money. We do think about getting more clients. When does that ever trickle down to your bank account, though? See, that's the part nobody gets to. I hear lots of talk about revenue and sales and profit. When does that ever turn into you getting rich? Like, what is the year that you will be rich? Most people cannot answer that question because they don't actually have a plan. They haven't thought about it. It hasn't been sparked yet because all people talk about is the selflessness of their business. But you need more than that. So yeah, we're launching 2 programs. Birthright is going to be around, like I said, that Thrivers Guild, rewriting your money story on both spectrums. So if you're the overspender that's trying to avoid uncomfortable emotions and doing the works and you just throw all the money, you make $100K launch and you spend $99,900 of it in 2 weeks on crap you ain't need, I got something for you. And if you're on the other end, you're an accumulator, you don't look at the money, you put your head in the sand, you don't want to look at it, you don't want to hire an accountant, you don't want anybody to tell you nothing, I got something for you. And then new money is going to come. We're going to launch that. We'll start in January. And it's actually going to be, I have money to invest. I'm ready to put money in the stock market. I'm ready to get an estate plan, a will, a trust, a business continuity plan, like the assets. But most people need both. Most people need the mindset and the learning. So we split them and we created a model where you can just start in one and easily move into the other. So
definitely. Are you going to still offer your other products, or are you kind of just did a full shift for you?
The website's under construction. We'll still offer revenue acceleration services. We just won't call them sales services. And the only way you'll be able to get like Natalie make my sales process is in like a VIP day. Because here's what I've discovered. You can't really coach someone around sales. I really wasn't your sales coach. Not really. I might have coached you into a mindset that made you believe it was finally time to raise the prices, and et cetera, et cetera. But like, you already knew how to sell. So did Michaela. Most of my best clients actually already know how to sell. They have sales background. So when I did some market research around how did people see me, less than half of my clients actually saw me as a sales coach. Mm-hmm. I have to share that with you. It's really interesting. Most people either saw me as a mentor or a sage or a guide, a partner even, like a high-level thought partner. Most of my best clients already have an idea. They shoot it off to me to get clarity and next steps because execution is one of my high skills. And then I partner with them when that crap comes up to tell them, this is too much. maybe we should scale this down. Maybe we should charge less. Maybe we should I'm like, we're going to do exactly what we said we were going to do. Go forth and conquer. Right. So I think sales coach was always a misnomer and it attracted people who had no sales. Mm-hmm. So I will keep some revenue acceleration stuff, but, I think anybody could teach you how to sell. If you really need to learn how to sell, you should like get in a sales training program by like Jeb Blunt. You know what I mean? Like get you some good sales books, like people who are like, here are the basic steps of selling. But I'm at a point now where the people I serve, they're already sales masters. That's how they've gotten to see. You don't do $500K a year for 6 consecutive years without knowing how to sell. That doesn't happen. That's 1 year, yes. Consecutive years? No. So if you've been making money for consecutive years, you already know how to sell. And by listing myself as a sales coach, I think it was easy and it felt comfortable. But most of my folks are like, oh, Nat, when you launch that next thing, let me know. Because they're like, I'm already past what you're doing. So I feel great because very few people online know any damn thing about the stock market. I done stumped y'all this time. Y'all can't say y'all passed it. I got you now. Well, I can't wait to slide and deal. Be like, all right, tell me you passed this one. Tell me you already a financial advisor. I want to hear it. So I'm elated, actually. I think it's going to be big. And I think we need representation in this space. We need somebody saying these things who's made the money. And there's no shade to people who haven't made the money. But until you've had a 6-figure launch and your parents had a hand out, and you ain't got no plan, I have my parents on allowance. We already have, we have money meetings, like there's transparency. And that's because my parents are elderly and I don't want them to work. Both of my parents are willing to work. I am not willing to allow them to work. So I would rather pay my parents to sit at home and enjoy their retirement. I understand that ain't everybody's portion and everybody ain't got Natalie's parents. But my parents were phenomenal to me, so I'm happy to give it. But most people have no strategy. Like, how often do you have money meetings in your house? Are they fruitful? Are they productive? Where does that data go? Are y'all on the same page? Do you know how to get on the same page? Do you know how to find a financial planner? Do you know if you need a will or a trust? If you got a partner like mine that don't even like talking about death, you can't even have a death conversation with my husband. My husband feels like immediate pain just thinking about something happened to me, right? Who you gonna talk to? Most people just, if the conversations don't work out, they just don't. And we keep seeing all these people passing away. And when we pass away, our community, we are terrible with estate planning. Terrible. Prince, that whole thing was a nightmare. Michael Jackson, estates still. I mean, it just, and the wealth that gets lost, the part that doesn't get reported is that tens of millions of dollars is being lost to probate. Yeah. So the only person who wins when you don't have a trust or you don't have a will is the probate court. Mm-hmm. And we spend all of our lives being real private. You know how Black people do. Well, tell nobody nothing. I ain't know Michael Jackson wore wigs till that man died. So that man had a perm. I was shocked. So you don't find out stuff about people until they die. So you just spent your whole life being private, and then the day that you die, they put all your business on the news. And we allow it because we're so afraid to sit down with somebody to draft the document that states what we want to have happen. I love my husband too much to let the state of Alabama decide what he gets.
Yep.
I don't know the judge down at the Madison County Courthouse. I don't want to meet them. I don't want to, and you know what they don't do? They don't have meet and greets. You know that you can actually not just schedule some time to go meet with the county clerk and go, hey, when I die, are you going to take care of my family? Because my mom's got anxiety. And if I pass before no, you get a case number, you get assigned to these strangers. And now your folks are fighting over something that should be rightfully theirs. You spend all your time fighting and clawing to get this money. And then you pass away and we got to sell fish plates.
Yep.
And I don't like it. And I actually won't buy. I don't buy Celebration of Life fish plates. And I'm basically pescatarian, so they're saying something. I'm not gonna buy it. I can't do it because it's for most people. Term life insurance is so inexpensive, and we just tell ourselves we don't need it. But like you said, we'll spend the money people spend on hair. I went natural earlier, like last year. It's been a journey. I'm probably gonna lock my hair because anyway,
come over to the lot.
It's a lot. I'm not winning the natural hair game, but the money people spend, $200 on a silk press, and they don't last but 2 weeks. $800 on boho braids that they keep in for 8 weeks. $300 a bundle, $200 a bundle. Then you gotta have 4 bundles and a closure. Then you gotta pay $200-$300 to get it sewn in. Then every 2 weeks you got to get it tightened because you're spending a condominium's worth of rent on hair and lashes, and that's cool if you have assets. But me, I would rather have something paying me $1,000 a month than me paying some hairdresser $1,000 a month at the end of the year to still not have something. Like we don't always have that, and it's not our fault. That mindset wasn't ingrained in us. We just modeled what we saw. Our mama was fly as hell. Mm-hmm. Our grandma was fly. My grandma got her hair pressed up until maybe 4 weeks before she passed away. Mm-hmm. If she wasn't in the hospital, she was getting that hair pressed. She had new dresses. She couldn't even walk. She was wheelchair bound for 15 years. You would never know it. She was going to be fly, and she died fly. Yeah. So we model that behavior, but it's not really doing anything for us. We'd be 50 years old, fresh to death, pass away, and families be begging. And I'm happy to lead the charge. And that's why I'm so transparent. I'll tell people about my life insurance. I'll tell people about my investments. And that's why I'm so glad to have programs to pull people into an atmosphere where wealth becomes inevitable. not a byproduct. You are just like fitness. You aren't going to get fit on accident. I've never met a person with 8-pack abs who was like, you know what? I didn't try for this at all. I've actually never met that person. You could be thin on accident. That might be your metabolism, but fit? No, you don't get fit on accident. You won't get wealthy on accident either. It's not going to just fall into your lap. That's not how it works. You are going to need to start making some changes. And so my goal as I transition people out of Natalie's just known for sales is to take everything I've already taught y'all, which is how to make money faster, easier, more abundantly. Now, what do you do with it?
Yeah. And money, right?
That's it. Because the name of my business is Unapologetic Wealth, not Unapologetic High Ticket Sales. So at some point, y'all gonna have to, if you don't die wealthy, then I did not achieve the mission of the company. I didn't achieve the mission, and that will bother me. So even though the pivot is scary, because I mean, let's face it, anytime you making money comfortably, you want to keep doing it. This has been very uncomfortable, but I think it's worth it.
Definitely. I'm really excited for you, Natalie, and I feel like I'm probably like getting exclusive here. This might be one of the first interviews where you are
the absolute first. The absolute first. You are the very, very, very first person. I'm like, we got the masterclass, but yeah, I haven't. Yeah, you're the only person, because I haven't been doing anything on my sabbatical, but this was so important. And I mean, even like the masterclass, we're having a masterclass October 9th. It's called There's Money Everywhere. Yeah, and it's going to be fun. Isn't the name perfect? It's going to be fun because I'm not woo. So anytime I talk about money, I'm going to give you practical and tactical with it. Yes, there's an energetic thing that happens with money, but the energy has to go somewhere, right? Like you have to have a next step. And frankly, a lot of people are struggling right now. This has been a very unusual year in sales. People are either way up or they're way down. There doesn't seem to be anything in between. And what I want to give people is hope, which I think I do a good job at all the time, but also a plan. Like, if you don't have a CFO, if you don't have an accountant, if you don't have a financial advisor, how are you making financial decisions? Yep. We don't know. And for years, it's just been this constant spend all your money on coaching, spend all your money on consulting, spend all your money on brand shoots. And now a lot of people got $100,000 they've invested with nothing to show for it. I want to use a piece of this workshop to talk through how do you make better financial decisions? What are some KPIs you should be tracking? What are some percentages you should stay within? How do you create a guardrail that keeps your business from going off a cliff in case you have a tough season? I'm always surprised at how many people have no business savings or very limited $1,000, $2,000. If you sell a high ticket, you need at least 1x your highest price offer in savings. So if you got a $30,000 offer, you need $30K in savings, because you never know if you're going to have a chargeback. Is that client going to be able to meet the rest of their payment arrangement? You know, are you going to have extra costs that you didn't foresee? Payroll, taxes. You want to take a month off? Life happens. So you got $30,000 offers out there and you got $2,500 saved. That's scary. But very few people are telling you save, invest, grow. They're spend. And there's so many gurus out here basically tricking you, saying you're more empowered when you overspend. The more money you spend, the more enlightened you are, the more advanced your mindset is. It's like
a debt strategy. It's a debt strategy.
It's a debt strategy. It's the more indebted you get, that shows how devoted you are. And my thing is, why are you more devoted to your business than your business is devoted to itself? 5 years in, 4 years in, your business should be devoted to running itself. It should have its own profit. That's not to say there aren't tough seasons, but if every season is a non-profitable season, you know, that's why I hate when people compare themselves to Uber. Uber has lost money every quarter since its inception. Uber's lost billions of dollars with a B. And a billion is 1,000 millions, and a million is 1,000 thousands. So if you ain't got but 1,000 right now, you got 1/10 of 1% of $1 billion. Just to put in perspective how much money this is. But those are white people with venture capital funds. And we all know that Black women get less than 0.3% of venture capital funds. So unless you got a business that's backed by venture capital, and they will let you write a blank check to lose money for however long it takes to prove a concept, profit has to happen. You can't just say, it'll make money eventually. I'm so proud of Kevin Hart for closing his restaurants.
Oh,
I wish I knew him personally. I wish I could call him on the phone, because we don't see this. We see people struggle and we applaud struggle. We go, oh, girl, I love how you hung in there. You went all year with no clients. You are so resilient. Stop it. Stop clapping for people doing really, really bad. I'm not filing bankruptcy. I'm not losing my house for anybody. If y'all don't want to buy the stuff, then don't buy it. But I swear to you, I'm not going under for anybody on Facebook. That's crazy. Now, market more, try, but you always need to have levers you can pull. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about that in the There's Money Everywhere masterclass too, because I'm learning, like I knew from the beginning, the financial literacy is just absent. It just doesn't exist. And I'm complicit in that if I help people make a whole bunch of money and then don't give them any next step, right? So you mentioned in the beginning of this that I put over $40K in your pocket. Where is it, right? Do you still have it? Did any of it go to you in a disbursement to your team? Did it buy stocks or investments, right? Or did it all go back into the business engine, hoping at some point it'll ever make money? And I meet people who dump every dollar they have trying to keep their business afloat. And it shouldn't be that way. Your business should be putting money in your pocket, not the other way around. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'll give you the link for the masterclass too. It's gonna be.
What day did you say it is again?
October 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, definitely. And do folks get access to the replay and all that?
Always. Yeah.
Okay.
They can watch it forever and ever and ever because it's gonna be good.
Yep. I'm excited.
Great.
I'm so excited. I'm definitely gonna get my ticket. I'll be there to support you. Anything else that folks can look out for that we could put in the show notes and ways that they can continue to elevate your work, but also continue to elevate themselves? If anybody got anything from this conversation, I hope it was a level of wealth consciousness. And a coming to Jesus moment is what my granny used to say.
Yeah. No, you gotta have that. Sometimes somebody just gotta tell you the truth, and it's usually me. Cop Birthright, my private podcast is a labor of love. I'll tell you a fun fact, something I never really tell people. I had no plan for this podcast. I did not have one episode recorded when I sold it. Wow. I just committed to doing one episode a day for a year. And everybody said I was crazy. They were like, that's a really long time. You should not commit to that. Maybe one episode a week. And I'm like, no, people need to hear my voice every day and be reminded of how great they are. And the episodes are 3 to 5 minutes. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're getting the kids ready in the morning, just pop it in and listen to it. But being grounded in what your purpose is, if you are a world changer, and if you follow Evolve, you are a world changer. If you are a world changer, I want you to accept right now that it will take millions of dollars to manifest your vision. Your vision is not cheap. Your vision is not free. You cannot do it on $100 a month or $1,000 a month or $10,000 a month. It's going to take a large amount of money for the vision that God gave you to come into fruition. And so you have to make sure that you have your fiduciary hat on. You have a fiduciary duty to your partner, to your community, to people who look like you. If I go out of business because we ran out of money, it is harmful to me, my husband, my parents, all the Black people who follow me, every statistic on Black businesses. We have a big mantle. We cannot get discouraged or distracted by fads and trends and being overly altruistic. You give from your overflow. So if you barely making it, you can't be giving all your money away. You can't be supporting people who won't work and giving your services to people who won't pay. If you have a deep conviction to help people for free, post on your Facebook page and tell the people to follow you. But don't overextend yourself for things that are not going to create longevity. You got to keep yourself first. And the first 5 years of your business is not about growth. It's about staying in business. It's about not running out of money. It's about being defensive. And a lot of us just aren't defensive enough. We don't spend enough time thinking about well, what are the things that are going to move the needle? We're so busy trying to please others. Therapy has been the best thing that could have happened to me because it showed me, even in my own headstrong way, where there were pockets of my life where I was trying to please other people, even if it was paying clients. And so now I'm like, you know what? In order to come into this ecosystem where wealth is inevitable, you have to follow my rules. I'm providing a service that's changing your life, not the other way around. And that doesn't mean be rude to people. I'm incredibly kind, but you can't let people play in your face. And if you can't run payroll at the end of the month, people are playing in your face. And it only took me one bad month for me to be like, nope, we ain't ever doing this again. All right, you got your sermon in. There you go.
Yes, y'all, please get the Birthright Podcast. Come through to the masterclass, support this work. And if you're making money in your business right now and you're not sure what to do with it, go follow Natalie and follow the blueprint to success. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And until next time, y'all, peace.
Bye.